everybody. Welcome to another awesome episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden. Oh, goodness.
I'm Kevin.
Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our brand new episode of Youth Connect. Okay, so hello, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, people of the Super Ability crew and just members of our community. Welcome to Youth Connect. This is very interesting because let's just talk real quick. We have swapped to an entirely brand new broadcasting system. And the reason why I share this with you today is because things are going to be a little bit whack, a little bit weird, a little bit different. So just keep in mind, with an open mind, guys, I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to be very, very weird. And I'm going to try my best to keep it on point, on par, still keep the flow of things. Of course, we have Jeffrey, we have Logan, and we have Kevin with us today. It's going to be a very exciting episode. I know it's important to keep ourselves as a team. And for those who don't know, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that has a lot of weird things. We're talking really weird, like good story news, a little bit of video game news, some interesting facts, cooking knowledge, and live music. It's a lot. There's a lot. And I know it's a show that you are going to absolutely love. And first things first, guys, the first thing that we always have to do, and keep in mind, open mind, guys, the first thing that we have to do is, of course, me with some gaming news. Okay. Phew. Okay. I'm getting to the muse of things, and I know what you're thinking, guys. Aren't these the old classic intros? You know what? I thought it'd be nice to bring back the classics, but it's time to first talk about the interesting gaming news. And this is for the mobile fans, because I've actually talked about this game several times through its many, many years of being online. I will talk about Nintendo's mobile success story, Mario Kart Tour. I've talked about it a lot. There's been some interesting stuff, but I have been hearing some very sad news. It has been slowly but surely winding down for the better part of 3 years as of now. And despite a moment of spike of an activity last July, the game has mostly fell out for a while now. And unfortunately, coming September 29th, it may be ending for good. So, a very brief statement from Nintendo's website says, "We sincerely thank the many players who have loved and supported the game since service began so long ago." And talking about the game as if it was around since the Middle Ages, very, very weird. But the competitive online racing game will, in fact, have just turned 7 years old, which is a decent amount for a game. But unfortunately, this mobile game just couldn't get off the ground. And unfortunately, it said that on September that they are going to be removing it from the store completely. And what's very sad is the gold pass and rubies, all the different stuff that you can use to unlock certain characters or cards or things like that have completely gone off sale. And unfortunately, there is no way to get anything. But for August and September, players can get the gold pass, which is sort of like this VIP pass that they created for free. So if you ever want to play Mario Kart Tour for the last 2 months that it's out, I recommend that you do, because it's actually really cool. You know, the reason why the game released in the first place is that during the time of 2021, 2022, there was gacha games. And I'm talking a buttload of gacha games, but mostly gacha gambling. You know, it was very, very big. And Nintendo wanted to hop on the train by making Mario Kart World Tour. And the only way that they could do that is actually, I will say, as much as I love Mario Kart Tour, it was very demanding. People who had money and spent a lot of money on the game could easily beat you in races, easily win everything, and honestly, it wasn't fun. It really, really had a big demand on your wallet. For example, you couldn't do 200cc racing unless you paid, so it was locked behind a paywall. And, for some of the game, especially for this gotchas feeling, some countries rated the game 18 plus. But, as much as I really love the mobile game, because let's be honest, there were some really classic, brand new and revamped stages for Mario Kart Tour. And I actually wish that there was more because, it was interesting to see revamped stages, old stages, classic stages, and just seeing it come into light. Of course, with a lot of in-game purchases for that game, it was very predatory, as people call it. The game did have a kind of a dark back pass, like a backstory for it. But unfortunately, it is going to be discontinuing. Some people may rejoice. For me, I think it's very sad because all of those courses are going to be lost to time, so nobody will be able to find them ever again. But you know what's amazing? The community will probably make something that's completely paywall free or make something off the lines of it. Now, I won't condone it because Nintendo is very, very, very specific about people remaking stuff. They don't like it at all. Once it's dead, it's supposed to stay dead. But you know what? I'm going to probably play Mario Kart Tour for the last 2 months that it's out, or 3 months technically, including July, and we'll see how things go off from that. It's very interesting to read this news, guys, because you know what? As much as interesting of a gotcha game as it is, there's a lot of games that do this kind of thing, so it's not really that common or uncommon for it to not do it. But you know what? We can pay homage to those courses that were made for the game and all the creative custom stuff that was created for it. Anyways, I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm seeing how things are gonna work out. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And next up, we have Kevin with some all important news, sports, and of course that interesting fact, the very, very popular interesting fact.
Hello everyone, welcome to Youth Connect News. I'm your host Kevin Roja, and here is what making news today. The Toronto mayoral candidate wants to rename Sankofa Square. Some Ontario farms are dealing with major shortage of sour cherries after weather issues. The TTC sees urged in trips along routes serving Toronto Stadium. And Toronto Raptors put Kawhi Leonard trade on hold. Toronto mayoral candidate Brad Bradford says Sankofa Square used to be one of the city's busiest and most popular places. He compared it to New York City Times Square, where people gather for festivals, celebration, and night out with friends. He says the square has now become run down and less welcoming. If elected, Bradford said he would open a permanent police station in the square like the ones in Times Square. Said cleaning rules, clean and organize events to attract families and visitors and show famous Canadians on the square's large screen. Where they are not being used for events or advertisements, change the square's name to Toronto Square. The square was renamed for Young Dundas Square to Sankofa Square in 2025. The change happened after a petition with nearly 14,000 signatures argued that Henry Dundas should not be honored because he helped delay the end of the transatlantic slave trade. Before the name changes, the city spent 2 years consulting with the public, doing research, and holding discussions. A 20-member committee that includes leaders, residents, and business owners to help choose the new name. Bradford says the cost of the police station, changing the name, and expanding mental health and outreach services will be paid for by major Canadian companies that advertise in the square, so there would be no extra cost to property taxpayers. The cost of renaming the square was first estimated at more than $300,000, but city's officials later said it would rise to about $600,000. A 2024 survey found that most Toronto residents did not support changing the square's name. Toronto's residents will vote in a mayoral election on October 26, 2026. Ontario farms have fewer sour cherries this year. People who like sour cherries may have a harder time finding them this summer, and they may have to pay more. Some farms in Ontario have much smaller crops than usual. Sour cherries, also called Mon- Montmorency cherries are often used for pies, jams, and other baked goods. July and August are usually the busiest month for cherry harvesting in Ontario. On Monday, the Ontario Tender Fruit Growers Group said this year's sour cherry crop is smaller than normal. At Cherry Lane in Vineland, a farm known for for cherry juice, manager Michelle Smith and a shortage has affected their business. Some cherry trees are full of fruits, while others nearby have almost none. Because there are fewer cherries, the farm is saving most of its crop to make its popular cherry juice concentrate. It is also increasing prices because there is less fruit to sell. This means the farm will not sell buckets of sour cherries for baking this year. At Romagnoli Farms in Beamsville, owner Jack Romagnoli said his cherry trees have not been affected. He believes this is because his farm is closer to the lake, which helps protect the trees from bad weather. Romagnoli says cherries are one of the fruits most easily damaged by weather. To protect his crop, he installed a canopy system that can cover about 2 acres of cherry trees when needed. At Cherry Lane, Smith said the farm is doing everything it can to protect the cherries it still has and it's hoping for a better season in the future. The TTC says more people use public transit during the World Cup, but new data shows that between June 12th and July 2nd, buses and streetcars serving Toronto Stadium and the FIFA Fan Festival carried 1.1 million trips on match days. That's more than 40% increase compared with the same time last year. The busiest routes were along King, Dufferin, Bathurst, Ossington, and the Harbourfront. Toronto hosted 6 World Cup matches and BMO Field as one of the several host cities across North America. David Cooper, found a transportation planning firm leading mobilities, that TTC's ridership increased a lot during the tournament, even on days without matches. He said priority transit lanes and other improvements helped make the system work better. And now to the sports news. The Toronto Raptors have pushed their plans to trade for Kawhi Leonard. They made his decision after the NBA said the Raptors would have to accept any problems that might come from the league investigation into the Los Angeles Clippers. The proposed trade would send Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 future first-round draft picks, the rights to swap first-round picks in 2027, and 2 second-round picks to the Clippers in return. The Raptors would get Kawhi Leonard. The NBA started investigating the Clippers in September, reports claiming that Leonard signed a US $28 million endorsement deal with a company called Aspiration. The deal reportedly did not require him to do any work other than stay with the Clippers. Aspiration later went bankrupt, and his co-founder, Joe Sandberg, was charged with fraud. However, Leonard has not been charged with any crime. The Clippers said they believe the trades would go through the NBA finishes this investigation. Leonard helped the Raptors win the first and only NBA championship in 2019. He then left the team that summer to join the Clippers as a free agent. Leonard is a 7-time NBA All-Star, a 7-time All-NBA player, and a 2-time NBA champion. He's also known as one of the league's best defensive players. On Tuesday, Leonard was in Toronto for Kyle Lowry's retirement ceremony while the Raptors were trying to complete the trade. ESPN also reported on Monday that Leonard has hired a new agent and is talking with the Raptors about the contract extension as part of the proposed trades. In today's weather forecast, we have a risk of a thunderstorm this afternoon with a temperature of 26 degrees. And tomorrow we will have mainly sunny. The temperature will be 26 degrees. And now moving forward for an interesting fact, we're going to talk about Canada Day. Yes, Canada Day is a day to reflect on what it means to be Canadian, to share what makes us proud, and to celebrate in our own way. This pride is reflected as in many ways as there are Canadians. So Canada Day highlights the richness of our land, our diversity, our culture, our contributions, but above all, our people since 1868. July 1st is an opportunity for Canadians, for all communities to come together. And I've got 6 interesting facts about Canada Day. The first fact is formerly Dominion Day. True, the holiday was originally known as Dominion Day. It wasn't until October 27th, 1982, that it's officially renamed Canada Day. The second fact is the full independence. The 1982 date also marks the passing of the Canada Act, which repatriated the Canadian Constitution and granted Canada's full independence for the British Parliament. The third fact is multicultural celebrations. Yes, activities include parades, outdoor concerts, barbecues, and major fireworks displayed across the country. Localized events are a hallmark of the day, with Capital Region celebrations, which is the largest organized by Canadian Heritage, acting as a central focal point. The fourth fact is observance rules. When July 1st falls on a Sunday, the statutory holiday is officially observed on the following day, which is on Monday, July 2nd. The fifth fact is the national anthem. Yes, O Canada is widely sung across the country, but it only became Canada's official national anthem on July 1st, 1980. And at least but not least, the sixth fact is Canada's national sports is hockey and lacrosse. While often associated with the sports of hockey, Canada has two national sports. Per National Sports of Canada Act, while ice hockey is recognized as summer's national winter sports, lacrosse as the country's national summer sport of Canada. When I come to the end of my segment to the next week's news, weather, and your favorite interesting fact. This is Kevin Aruja, and it's back to Aiden.
Okay, guys, hold on. Wait. Okay, there we go. Phew, thank goodness. So, I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, Canada Day was literally like a week ago, and I definitely remember everybody celebrating. You know what? It's very important, especially since, it's Canada's birthday. It's a very, very important event. I will ask all of my group that's here, do you guys have any specific way of celebrating Canada Day? I guess if you have any specific one. My one's hanging out with family and seeing what happens.
Same here, same hanging out with family.
Okay.
Same thing, hanging out with family.
Logan, anything specific or just hanging out?
No, that sums it up.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, sorry. Still learning the kinks of things. My apologies. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your news. Very important that we have it. Anyways, time to bring you your second news. Now, remember, we always have gaming news, and then secondly, after gaming news, we have good story news. So let's talk about something that's very, very important. So in the U.S., the amount of hurricanes are actually severely high. And from South Florida comes the story of a very intrepid teenager who's developed a very important mini curriculum on hurricane preparedness to fit into school lessons. So basically, this 16-year-old, Elise Rawrol, I apologize if I'm butchering the name, got hit by the impact of Hurricane Irma on her community, and unfortunately, she actually said that during the time, most people didn't know how to deal with it. South Florida schools don't teach students anything about what a hurricane can do to a city. Guides on topics like how to prepare emergency kits or safety information, like not standing near water if power lines are down or staying away from glass windows. None of it was being. And so, Roro thought she'd do it herself. Not only that, but she has created something called the Storm Smart Initiative. And it allows students to teach other students and be adopted quickly and effortlessly into any school or classroom. And it's amazing because, she says it's very important to me. I've realized that we weren't really learning anything about hurricane preparation safely. So she just decided to take it into her own hands. You know how we say in our community, if you want change to happen, you take it by the reins. And over 500 students have received Storm Smart educational materials so far, some from Roro herself, and many from other students, stepping up to take on the responsibility of kind of sharing the information amongst themselves. I think it's really amazing, and I hope that she continues this. And you know what? This should be a project that should be implemented into the schools. I don't know too much about U.S. schools, but what I do know, for at least from rural, is that there is not enough information being shared around. So I hope that her Storm Smart initiative gets into many other schools. Guys, 500 students is a lot. And think about 500 students, how many schools could that be? I hope it spreads out to different schools as well. All right. Keeping it moving, keeping it rolling. Let's keep it going. Okay, so next up, I know. Are you surprised? Next up, we have Logan, and Logan's going to be sharing us some cooking knowledge. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's going to be about? Let's find out.
Youth Connect. My name is Logan, and for this week on Culinary News, Jollibee's 10th anniversary expansion plan. An Italian restaurant replaces another Italian restaurant, and some news about Subway's Subdog. On July 3rd, the popular Filipino fast food chain Jollibee has announced an ambitious expansion plan to celebrate their 10th anniversary in Canada. Since entering the Canadian market in 2016, the brand has opened 26 locations across Canada and has experienced significant growth and high demand for its signature menu items, such as the Chicken Joy fried chicken and their Jolly Spaghetti. To support this rapid demand, the company has announced their plan to expand their Canadian presence to over 100 Canadian locations by the end of this year, effectively quadrupling their locations in less than a year. An ambitious plan for the Filipino chain, that's to be sure. For my next news story, on January 2nd, Toronto hospitality impressionados Charles Clabouth and Danny Sobrano had opened Bar Romy, a casual Italian restaurant in the former location of Figo, which was another Italian restaurant that was decidedly less casual. Located in John Street in Toronto's entertainment district, Figo was forced to close its doors permanently earlier this year in January, after sustaining damage from a fire in 2023 made worse by a faulty sprinkler system, ultimately leading to financial trouble that never really left. Its new replacement, Bar Romy, is a more casual dining experience in its more high-end predecessor, sporting a menu with various handmade pastas, Roman-style pizza, and a strong sandwich program. Right now, reception to the new restaurant has been great, sporting a 4.5 out of 5 on Google Maps. So hopefully, Bar Romy can succeed where its predecessor could not. But anyways, for my final news story, Monday last week, Subway had launched a new menu item, the Subdog, consisting of a half-pound, foot-long Schneider's hot dog in between Subway's signature buns with all the toppings that you may want. This limited-time menu item was made in partnership with the Toronto Blue Jays. More importantly, according to the culinary manager of Subway's Canada, it settles a lifelong debate. Is a hot dog a sandwich? People have been debating this for years, but at Subway, we knew sandwiches. With the Subdog, we're not just joining the conversation, we are settling it. This is a sandwich. That is what the culinary manager had to say on the matter. Now, normally, this would be the portion of my segment where I would thank you all for listening. But in regards to the Subdog, I actually went to Subway's yesterday, and I just so happened to have one of their very own titular Subdogs in my possession. This is a first for me in Youth Connect, a little boots on the ground journalism, you could say. So yeah, anyways, I got a Subdog yesterday. this is only half of it. I ate the other half yesterday and decided to bring this half here. And yeah, that's really all I have to say on the matter. I'm kind of impressed with the meat to bun ratio. I thought it'd be a lot more bun and a lot less meat, but this is a very thick hot dog. It is like almost 2 centimeters thick. And yeah, it's pretty good, I would say. But anyways, thank you all for listening to my little segment for this week. And back to you, Aiden.
Can I just say, I don't think I was ever expecting a sub dog, because that is certainly something. It's a bit weird, I'm going to be honest. Hot dogs at Subway, you mostly think about hot dogs at like a thing, and like Subways eat fresh. Is it a fresh hot dog? Are they like making them like hot and fresh and ready? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, you know. I guess I'll ask, of course, Jeff and Kevin, are you guys going to try out a sub dog?
Nah, it's not really my interest.
Okay.
I
Kevin,
always think
you might?
Subway, eat fresh, think fresh.
Yeah.
That's a good opinion. Instead of taking sub dogs.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, I don't think, in my personal opinion, I'll be doing them. But you know what? Logan, was it good? You didn't tell us. Was it good?
Yeah, better than I thought it'd be.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It was certainly quite popular at the place I went to. I actually managed to get the very last one for the day.
Oh wow, my goodness. You know, for our watchers and listeners and for everyone that's here right now, will you guys try out a sub dog? I don't know. I'm still on the kind of fence about it. All right. So, what does this mean? We've done Logan, we've done Kevin, we've done the gaming news, we've done that. What is left? Well, the last thing for my part is your community news. And you know what? It was a very exciting week. You know, it's our on week, of course. You know, that's the only time we have our Youth Connect. So I will quickly just skim through what we did. So on Monday, we did baking with Miss Jenna, and she taught us how to make a delicious tres leche cake. But not only one tres leche cake, there was one with cinnamon and one with fresh strawberries, one that she surprised me when we had our community get together. On Tuesday, we learned about the history of FIFA, and it was actually quite interesting. You know, it's the world's most popular sport. And we learned how the FIFA World Cup grew into what it is, and more importantly, the biggest sporting events on Earth. We learned about legendary players, and you know what? Some very, very exciting matches. Like, did you guys know the red card to yellow card ratio was almost 70-30? That means that there were so many fouls being played that it was unbearable. Like, people were being removed from the playing field, left, right, and center. So they had to set up some rules in the beginning. On Wednesday was my favorite, where we did bagels. And for everybody that's going to be showing up later tonight, I have a special surprise for you. On Thursday, we did dancing around the world. We learned about cha-cha, the waltz. I also taught everybody how to do hand dancing. You know, hand dancing, not hand dancing. I mean like hands dancing. I guess, is there really a difference between the two? Trust me, there is. And on Friday, we did our wrap-up for the week, which is our general knowledge, basically a combination of all the things that we've learned about into one Kahoot. You know, it's very important, guys, that we kind of recognize that we're learning facts. The Super Ability Crew is about building confidence, making friends, exploring new ideas, and just discovering what you are capable of. Whether you're baking, cooking, dancing, learning history, or playing trivia, we're growing together as a community. And for all of you crazy cats, tonight marks the very first Super Ability Social Club, and we couldn't be more excited besides me because I'm very, very nervous. But you know what? As much as I am nervous, it's a very important chance for adults of all abilities to build friendships, share stories, laugh, learn something new, and just simply enjoy being part of a welcoming community. You know, Friendship, guys, is a very powerful impact. It's very impactful on our health and our well-being, and it builds confidence, but it also reduces that loneliness and supports mental wellness. There's not many free opportunities to connect, so our crew decided to make a difference and create a social club for all communities. Again, it is tonight at the Church of the Incarnation at Oakville from 7 to 8:30 p.m. For those who are there, you might see a very important thing that I'm be sharing with you. Well, with you and me, and we'll be sharing it as a group, and we'll be hanging out. It's going to be very exciting, guys. So, what does that mean? We've done them all. Well, we have one person left. Next up, we have Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's going to be having some live music. Hold on a minute there. That wasn't Jeffrey. Hold on. Oh, I told you guys, it's a bit of a funny little program we've been getting into. Give me 2 seconds, Jeff. I apologize for that. Okay, so let me get Jeff.
Thanks. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeffrey, and I got some music for you today, and I'm going to be performing Jelly Roll. Jelly roll, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, roll your hips side to side, don't hide, never slide. With jelly roll, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, roll your hips side to side, don't hide, never slide. Empty your pockets, give me a change. Don't be grateful, rearrange, don't hide, now slide. Jelly roll, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, roll your hips side to side, don't hide, now slide. Shake your hands to and fro, never let your smile go. You can do it, yes you can. Give me change. Tell me what we're in no high. Be the best you can be. Let me hear you say. And I wanna wait. Jelly roll, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Roll your hips side to side, don't hide. Just like jelly roll, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Roll your hips side to side, don't hide. Just like set your pockets, give me a change. And just fit, rearrange, don't hide. your up, one step forward, two steps back. Roll your hips side to side, your eyes a smile. Till you up, one step forward, two steps back. Roll your hips side to side, your eyes a smile. Empty your pockets, spin your change. One step forward, two steps back. Roll your head side to side, your eyes and smile. One step forward, two steps back. Roll your head side to side, your eyes and smile. Woo! Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, live musician. See you all next time, and it's back to Aiden. Bye, everyone.
Okay, guys. So this unfortunately brings us to the end of Youth Connect. It's very sad to see see everyone go, but we have to skedaddle. For those who were here, I want to say thank you to Kevin, Jeffrey, and Jeffrey number 2. I do not know why there are 2 Jeffreys right now. But thank you, Jeffrey 1, and thank you, Jeffrey 2, and thank you to Logan as well. I don't know why Logan's here. Not here. I apologize. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me try to figure this out, guys. What's happening here? Why is there two Jeffreys? Something fishy's going on around here. Oh my goodness. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get Logan on the screen for just a second. Wait. Okay, there. Now we have the full crew. Thank you to Logan. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you so much to Kevin. If you liked this episode, make sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
Yeah, you both got it. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye, guys.